The Commanders' win versus the Los Angeles Chargers in Week 5 just got even better now that I've seen the All-22 film. Today I'm going to be breaking down my film takeaways with things that I didn't catch upon first viewing that I want to share with you guys here on the Commanders Report today. But before we get into the content today, Harrison Graham, the host of our Bears channel here at Chat Sports, Bears Now, has challenged us to a new subscriber battle this week as we prepare to take on the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football this week here in Week 6 of the NFL schedule. Right now we are starting with a clean slate. Zero new subs. We need to set the foundation to win this sub battle this week. Hopefully the Commanders are going to be beating those Bears on the field on Monday night, and hopefully we can beat them off the field as well. So no new viewers, we are counting on you guys. This is just new subscribers. So all the real ones that have already clicked that subscribe button and joined the Commanders Report family, they can't help us out here. It's only the people that haven't clicked that subscribe button yet. So if you've been watching our videos for a while and you want to help us win this sub battle this week, make sure you guys click that subscribe button. With that, let's get into my film takeaway. Starting on the offensive side of the ball, and specifically Deebo Samuel, who keeps rolling, folks. He is looking fantastic 5 weeks into the season. Now, there's certain things that you don't ask Deebo Samuel to do. There's certain routes that you don't ask Deebo Samuel to run. There are times where he does get locked up in man coverage, where that's something that has been true of Deebo Samuel really his entire career. But yesterday versus the Chargers, another very solid outing for him. 8 catches for almost 100 yards receiving. Averaged over a first down per reception and had a touchdown there at the very end. And he was doing a really good job getting open on crossers. He had some nice hands catches in contested situations. Honestly, the hands have been really impressive for me here, talking about Deebo Samuel here. There's been moments there where it's been contested catch situations that he has brought down footballs that, honestly, I don't know if that's something that he's really been known for throughout his career, but he's been doing that at a really high level here in Washington this season. And right now, he's on pace to have over 100 catches, over 1,000 yards receiving, a first down per reception, and 14 touchdowns for the Washington Commanders this year. Now, is he going to hit this? Who knows? Like, bringing back Terry McLaurin, I'm sure he's going to get a little bit less of the target share, and I would probably expect him to be somewhere between 800 to 900 receiving yards by the end of the season. But hey, as your wide receiver too, that you just spent a 5th-round pick on, and that's it. I think that's an absolutely fantastic number, and Deebo Samuel has been everything that I was hoping he was going to be for this football team this season. But I was told Deebo was fat and washed, and he was terrible, and there was people, taking videos of him jogging in a warm-up during Commanders practice and saying, look at him run full speed. Look at him sprint. It's like a tub of lard out there. Well, guess what, man? He's absolutely cooking these fools. He's doing a great job. He's making tough catches. He's being used in very creative ways in the screen game, even in the run game at times. He's being put in the backfield. Cliff Kingsbury's using him to the full extent of his talents, and he's also a big reason why the run game here in Washington has been so good, because he is one of the best run-blocking wide receivers in football today. So kudos to Deebo Samuel for proving the doubters wrong. And if and when Terry McLaurin can get into a groove and Jaden Daniels and Terry can get back into a rhythm at some point this season, watch out, because this could be one of the most dangerous wide receiver duos in the National Football League. And I know that, through the first portion of this season for the Commanders, it's been mostly dominated by the run game, at least offensively. But if you can balance out this offense where you have one of, if not the best run game in the league, paired with a really dangerous passing attack that can beat you down the field, can beat you on screen passes to Deebo Samuel, that can beat you in a bunch of different ways, not to mention Zach Ertz over the middle. I mean, we could be looking at one of the best offenses in football by the time we get to playoff time and give this team a legitimate chance to make a run yet again in January. So let me know, over or under, down there in the comment section. Will Deebo Samuel get over or under 1,000 yards from scrimmage this year? So that's as a receiver and as a rusher. Over 1,000 yards or under, type O for over or U for under. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. In just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at Prize Picks. And while I'm telling you about our sponsor today, let me know down there in the comment section if Deebo gets over or under 1,000 yards from scrimmage this season. And with that, let's have a word from our sponsor today at Prize Picks. And you and I, we both make decisions every single day. But not all those decisions get you paid. But if you download the Prize Picks app for free today, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. Football season is finally here, and you better believe I'll be getting my PrizePicks lineups in all season long. PrizePicks is super simple to play. You just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. PrizePicks also puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. PrizePicks also offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. And a new feature from PrizePicks that I absolutely love is injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, PrizePicks will not count that as a loss. So you guys can take a look at my PrizePicks projection for tonight's Monday Night Football action between the Chiefs and Jaguars. I'm taking the more on passing yards for Patrick Mahomes, the more on Travis Etienne rushing plus receiving yards. I'm taking the more on Trevor Lawrence interceptions and the more on Xavier Worthy receiving yards. You guys can get your projection in right now when you download the PrizePicks app on your phone today for free and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup on the PrizePicks app today. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Second takeaway here, John Bates was back in the lineup coming off that groin injury, and he was back to business, man. His blocking is absolutely unmatched at the tight end position in the National Football League today, and then he also got involved in the passing game as well. So love to see him back out there impacting the run game. And even when he was out, this run game was doing a good job. They played a lot of 13 personnel in this game as well, with Ben Sinnott getting in there. So it's good to see him get a little bit of a workload as well after really playing well while Bates was out with that injury. But, man, there's just nobody that does it like John Bates in the game today. That's why they gave him all that money to come back on a multi-year extension this offseason. That was kind of a move that a lot of people scratched their head about, but Commanders fans and the real ones that know ball know that John Bates is a big part of this offense, and he showed that yesterday versus the Chargers. Now, a little bit on a negative note here. I thought the person on the offensive line that probably had the worst day for the Commanders was actually Laremy Tunsil. He gave up some pressures. He had a penalty. It wasn't the most clean game for somebody in Laremy Tunsil, who I think has had a really good season. I still have a high level of belief in, but I just thought yesterday was probably a down game for him. Something to keep a note on, something to keep tabs on. And I do think he's overall the best player on this Commanders offensive line. I don't want anyone to panic out there, but I did think that this was a little bit of a tougher game for him, and it's something to keep tabs on as we move forward into the season as he is getting older. But I thought the rest of the pass protection actually held up really well. Chris Paul continues to play well at left guard. I think you just got to keep playing him there at this point, guys. He's just been phenomenal. He's always been physically gifted, but apparently something has clicked this year that has allowed him to play at a high level. Biotish did a good job. I thought Wiley once again did a pretty decent job, and then same thing with Josh Connolly Jr., who's just been getting better and better as the weeks have gone on. Certainly it helps not having to go up against Khalil Mack every single play, but certainly I thought that Josh Connolly Jr., the rookie out of Oregon, continues to get better week in and week out, which is exactly what you want to see. Now, before we get to the defensive takeaways here, guys, make sure you click that thumbs up icon to celebrate this Week 5 win. It also helps out the channel tremendously. It takes a half second of your time. The more people that like this video, the more YouTube is going to recommend this video for more Commanders fans like yourselves. The more YouTube recommends it, the more new people get to enjoy our content, and the more people that click that subscribe button, and so on, and so on, and so on. So I know it's just a really little thing here, guys, just clicking that thumbs up icon, but it really does help us out. So if you want to help out our channel today, make sure you click that thumbs up icon and like today's show. Okay, so now let's get to the defensive side of the ball. Starting with the trenches, I thought Von Miller and Jacob Martin stepped up in a big way. Martin was out there mostly on early downs. Miller came in more on pass-heavy downs. And, these guys combined for a pretty darn good performance, in my opinion. They were getting after the quarterback, especially Miller. I think he had a sack and a half. Martin had a half sack. They were getting into the backfield. They were impacting the pocket. They were impacting the run game as well. And, just on a general note here, the D-line as a whole played phenomenal, and it continues to play phenomenal. I mean, you got Javon Kinlaw and Daron Payne, who are one of the best interior defensive line duos in the league to start this season, in my opinion. Then you got Dorrance Armstrong, who's had a breakout stud performance. He might be arguably the best Commanders defender to start this season off. And then, you get Von Miller, who's had a little bit of a slower start, starting to pick things up. And then Jacob Martin kind of picking up where Javonte Jean-Baptiste and, of course, Dietrich Wise have kind of left this team. And I thought Martin, somebody that's been kind of known more as like a passing down specialist type of guy, I thought he stepped in quite nicely, and we honestly didn't see a whole lot of Preston Smith yesterday on film because Jacob Martin and Von Miller did their job so well. Then we get to the middle level of the defense here, the second level, and this is another kind of negative note here, guys, but something's wrong with Frankie Luvu. And you guys know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, how much I love Frankie Luvu. I think he's an awesome player, or at least he really was last year. But this year, he's just not been the same player. He doesn't have nearly the production that he had last year. At least he's not projected to have the production that he put up last year. He's not nearly as impactful as a pass rusher. He looked, frankly, lost in pass coverage at times. I think they need to be blitzing him more. And when you have two linebackers in your second level there, you got Bobby Wagner and Frankie Luvu, and both of them are struggling to cover out in space. That leads to teams looking to attack that level of the field, right? So, Frankie Luvu, I think, has got to have to turn it around. He's another guy that's getting a little bit older. Hopefully he's not regressing physically, and I'm hoping that Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn and Frankie himself can figure out a way to get the old Frankie Luvu back, because that kind of player was super impactful for this team. If we can get that player back in this defense, this defense is going to take it to a whole nother level. But sticking with the off-ball linebacker position, I would play Jordan Magee even more, man. And they finally played him this week. He only had 12 defensive snaps the entire season before Sunday, and he got 12 snaps versus the Chargers. So he literally doubled his defensive snap total for the season yesterday, and it's just 12 snaps. Like, it's not like he was on the field all the time and he was playing a ton. Like, I would try and get him somewhere between 20 snaps every game, man. Like, this guy, you can just tell when he's out there in pass coverage, he just plays at a different speed than Bobby Wagner, okay? And I understand Bobby is a fantastic leader, and he's a really good run defender, and he's a good blitzer, and, they used Bobby quite a bit as a blitzer yesterday. I think that's the best possible way to use his skill set, but then they brought Jordan Magee in on passing situations, and he was actually doing a good job in zone coverage. He was actually doing a good job in man coverage, and, he just brings a different level of speed to the table. I think the Commanders are starting to wake up to that fact, and I'm hoping he continues to get more and more playing time as the year goes on. And then getting to the secondary here, three really good pieces of news here, guys. Watching the film, Mikey Sainristil had a bounce-back game. He had not only that interception, that was a more difficult play than you think. You might think, the pass was tipped. It was an easy play, but no, it was kind of like a weirdly wobbled football that was like kind of knuckleballing after it hit Jazon Newton's hand. So he had to really focus in on the football, make that catch in kind of a weird body position. Really good play from Sainristil. He also had some nice pass breakups. He had multiple tackles. He didn't have the same tackling issues as he had in previous weeks. It wasn't a perfect game from Mikey, but it was certainly, I think, his best game of the season to this point. And then also a bounce-back game for Lattimore, all right? It seems like every other week we're getting good Lattimore and bad Lattimore. We had good Lattimore versus the Raiders, bad Lattimore versus the Falcons. Good Lattimore versus the Chargers, bad Lattimore versus the Packers. Like, you need to find a little bit more consistency with Lattimore's game. He only allowed one catch on the day, so a pretty darn good day for Lattimore. He also picked up a fumble recovery that was forced by Quan Martin. And then another lockdown performance for Trey Amos, who looks like a legit number one corner in this league to me, guys. He's not the most athletically gifted guy in the world, but he's an extremely smart football player. He's got long arms. He's really physical, and he knows what he can get away with and what he can't get away with, which is a really rare trait in the National Football League today. So to have that number one presence in this group, it makes me feel a lot better about Marshon Lattimore on the outside as kind of like a number two. It makes me feel better about Mikey Sainristil in the slot. But at the end of the day here, guys, we do still need to get more consistency from the DBs. It's going to be important here this next game versus Chicago because they got some good players, man. They got DJ Moore. They've got Roma Dunze, all right? They've got some players. Luther Burden III has shown some good things over the last few weeks, all right? They've got some dudes in that weapons group in Chicago, and, if they can come out and, Quan Martin can play as well as he did yesterday. I thought he had a nice bounce-back performance as well. If Marshon Lattimore can put two good performances together for the first time this year, if Mikey Sainristil can put together two straight good performances, this secondary has certainly been a problem for the Commanders' defense to this point in the season, but unlike last year where I thought it was an unfixable problem for this defense, I think this year you have the talent to be able to fix it, for these guys to turn it around, for these guys to learn how to play with each other a little bit better. And then if the linebacker play in the second level gets better, I think that's only going to reverberate into the third level, into the secondary, and these guys are going to be able to play better than they've shown through the first 4 weeks, and more like what they showed here in week 5 versus the Chargers. So let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. What is your confidence level in the Commanders secondary at this point in the season? 5 weeks in, let me know. Scale of 1, meaning this is terrible, this is absolutely awful, these guys stink, to 10 being this is a fantastic group, top 10, top 5 group in the league. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. That'll be it for today's edition of the Commanders Report. Tomorrow we'll have more Commanders coverage for you guys. We'll probably do our preview for Monday Night Football tomorrow, unless there's more news that comes out. Otherwise, we'll cover that instead. But make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already for daily and free Commanders coverage right here on YouTube.